I saw him walking out of here, and I wanted to apologize to him because I didn't want to come off offensive or like I didn't like him. I didn't know him, but the questions he was asking me is not in the best interest of Keepy D, and I'm trying to explain him to that. But you really want me to answer that? If I talk and answer the questions he answered, the jury is going to look and say, Keepy D is who he say he is. Keepy D was involved in what he was involved in. And I'm not here for that. Keepy D put himself in this situation, running his damn mouth. Shut up. This case is old. It's over. But for $4,000, $3,000, you want to sit up here and tell people what you did? The average gang member don't do that. And he paying for it. And all of this is a joke. The man been telling you he doing this and did it, and he got facts in what he's saying. And all he needs to do is shut up. Like he was told a long time ago, be quiet, you won't go to jail. You won't go to jail. But he continued. And this is where he at. He tried to make a mockery out of Las Vegas Police Department. They got offended, and they said, we got to get him. That's all that happened here. I say this, it was between Suge and Puffy. Tupac was trying to show his loyalty to the hood, my neighborhood, to the mob. And by him trying to show his loyalty to us, then that's where he met his demise. Tupac didn't know Orlando. Tupac didn't know Keepy D. He ain't never seen these people. Tupac came to Compton maybe 2 or 3 times. I've seen him. So this situation didn't have nothing to do with it. All our homeboys was at the fight. My little brother was there. And they getting paid to be gang members, to do what they do best. All of them guys are fresh out the penitentiary. I was the smallest one. But my baby brother and all of them other guys were ready for whatever. Now Tupac was told that's him that tried to take my chain. And Tupac took off to prove his loyalty, and it cost him his life. He should have set his ass down and mind his business. Suge should have, instead of trying to join the fight, get Tupac out of there. That didn't happen. It didn't happen because I wasn't there. Because a lot of them would have had to pay for that one. And I've said it on my podcast show. My neighborhood dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. Tupac should have never been in that situation or allowed himself to fight for one of us, because you ain't lived that life. You ain't one of us.
You're talking us.
But I mean, and they never moved. They never sat in my car. So
what do you know about that?
All I can say is when Tupac got killed, revenge was a must. Somebody from Bad Boy had to go. Somebody had to be the pickaninny. Somebody had to pay the price. And in that time, the gang life, what we were doing was serious. And if there was no repercussion with Tupac, everything and everybody with Suge Knight looked like shit. So before we let that happen, somebody gotta go. I mean, this is every day. Somebody gonna pay for something.
Do you know who shot him?
Do I know? See, now you're talking like that man up there. The streets know everything. I'm gonna say that. Is the streets willing to say, yeah, I know who did it? No. No. Like I said, it's been a long time. That guy knew that he wasn't supposed to come to California. He knew he wasn't welcome here. And it was people from the airport all the way to where he was at and where he was going knew he was here. Just like a taxi with a phone. Hey, where you go, we got it. So they knew that, but everybody want to play games and everybody picking people, and you pay the price. You pay the price. So it's just unfortunate that we killing each other for BS, for nothing. Every last one of us, every Paru that was on death row, walked away with nothing. I walked away with the life of my brother. He's gone. I didn't walk away with a big fat paycheck. I walked away and had to go do what I do to survive and be a part of my kids' life. So that was my focus. But everybody walked away from death row the way they came, or couldn't walk away because we lost so many homeboys behind death row. Death row was just a bad experience for all of us. And I was with Suge from 1988 when I got out of prison. From 88 until certain things started happening, and I had to walk away. And where I went wrong is putting my brother in the lion's den. You know what I'm saying? I brought my brother to death row, fresh out of prison, and he get killed. And that was the last for me, 2002. And I had to walk away. So that was my new walk of life. And I've been good ever since.
All right, all right. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Mighty King Media TV, and in collaboration with Them Parts. How you doing today, Miss? I'm Ted King, and this is Miss.
I'm Nicole.
All right, yeah. So we're going to be talking about this trial that's going on in Las Vegas, Nicole. And of course, it's been heated. I mean, it's been very, very good here, and we have a lot to talk about today. But before we do that, go ahead and talk about your platform, Miss.
So, Them Parts, I'm on YouTube, and so what I'm focusing on now is more on the health side. So you'll see videos about growing your own garden, eating healthier, and taking better care of yourself. And check me out on YouTube at Them Parts.
All right, fantastic. Okay, sounds good. We have to do that. Now, this trial is absolutely riveting. They're exposing exactly all the things that took place, and how this whole thing starts to unravel. And apparently it starts unraveling. Of course, the neighborhoods, both neighborhoods, the Crips and the Blood neighborhoods back in South Central, knew about exactly what happened and how it happened, but took all these years was hush mouth about it. And apparently it was a known secret, so to speak, as to what happened. But it just goes to show you the loyalties of being able to join whoever you're associated with, and you're able to hold your tongue in terms of things that you know happened and who was involved with the events.
Well, I'll say that I don't know if they were holding their tongue, because it sounds like a lot of them were informants. They were informants.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like that everybody knew, including the police, including the DEA, FBI, whoever was on the case. It sounds like they knew exactly what happened. They knew exactly who killed Tupac. The guy who killed Tupac, he was killed in a gang war, a couple months after? So maybe the hood felt like they already took revenge, so they wasn't tripping off of it no more. But the thing that kills me is the police and the FBI got us as fans questioning who killed Tupac, like it's the JFK assassination, like it's unknown, when everybody knew. They all knew. It was the very person that we thought killed Tupac, that's who killed Tupac. Now, they could have came out and said it a long time ago, since the guy was killed a couple months after Tupac got killed, since the actual shooter was killed. Now they got Keefe D on the stand because he's guilty by association, because he was in the car and because he's the one who passed the gun to the shooter. So now he's on trial for the murder of Tupac because everyone else is dead.
Right. Exactly. Well, here's the thing about when it comes to the law. It's not what you know. It's not what you think. It's what you can prove. And so this is what was going on with all this time of them trying to put a tangible case together in which they can prove as to what's going on, because you have, first of all, you have to have some foundation, especially in the court of law. You have to present the foundation, and then you have to present the evidence to the facts. And so there's a little, there's more to it than just, we know we know exactly what's going on. It's how you have to be able to put your case together in the court of law. And that
I
was
agree with
probably,
that.
yeah, that was
I
probably the
agree with
problem.
that. Except it's not just like, I'm not saying it's hearsay and that they just knew it without any evidence behind it. They knew it with evidence behind it. Number one, we see the video of Tupac beating up the guy. So that guy is suspect number one. Okay, all you got to do is investigate that guy's movements after the beating in the casino, and that's going to lead you right to the shooting on Las Vegas Boulevard. So the police, it sounds like they knew and they were complicit and they were okay with this big, humongous gang war happening that killed off a bunch of black people, and also up to Biggie Smalls getting killed in LA a few months later. So it's in my mind, it's literally almost like all a setup. It was all a setup. That was how they wanted it to play out. And when I say they, I mean the police, the system that keeps black people fighting against each other. Yeah, I'm blaming the system. I'm blaming the system on this one.
Okay. Well, I mean, they played a part. However, in
A
the court
humongous
of law,
part.
in the court of law, it's a little bit different in terms of being able to prove a case. And I'm not saying that there wasn't enough proof to move forward, but the point is that there were people who actually, no one, the only person that's alive and well that was in that car is Keefe D. He's the only one still living. So they
Right.
pretty much, the rest of them have all been either killed or died, or gone on to glory, however you want to put it. The point is that the only person that was in that car that night of that shooting was Keefe D. And
Mm-hmm.
so, based on him talking so much, of course, dead men can't talk, and then again, they can't go to jail. See, so you can't try a dead man. So basically, that's how the law is set up. If someone committed a crime, uh, murdered somebody, and they turn around and got killed, there's going to be no trial. They're not going to try them. So there was no trying the shooter, especially if he was killed some couple months later. So you can't try him because you can't try a dead man.
They can't
However,
try him, but they can try the people that were associated with the crime, and that's the other people in the car. So if they knew he did it, number one, let's forget even trying the case. They knew he did it, right?
they knew who
So
did it.
all they got to do is let the public know the guy who killed Tupac was killed in a gang war. The problem that I'm having is the public has been questioning and wondering for 30 years who killed Tupac.
Mhm.
And everybody knew who killed Tupac.
Well, I mean, okay. So everyone involved may have known, but
And I believe the
once again,
police knew too.
okay. Well, I mean, that's okay. That's your theory, obviously.
Yeah,
But
that's my theory.
what
No
I'm
thanks.
saying is, is that there is a protocol to being able to prove your case, and one of the protocols is to have a live person who did the crime. That person is dead. Dead. There's no. They're not going to prosecute a dead man or a person, right? So that in and of itself says, well, yeah, they're not disclosing everything, but earlier in the video, that man that was talking,
Mob
it
James.
said it one more time.
Mob James.
Yeah, right, Mob James. And Mob James, or Suge Knight calls him Rat James, which is James McDonald is his name. Okay,
Okay.
so that's who that was who was talking, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously he knew a lot of the circumstances that played a part in this whole 30 years of speculation. Then not speculation on their part, but the public speculation as to what happened. And the players obviously in a gang war, someone kills someone else, they're like, okay, unless they expose who's doing all the killing, there's going to be a lot of people going to jail or a lot of people being killed. So they have to not tell who was doing all these killings and said, well, look, there's not going to be any cases because we're going to kill people. And that's basically what this here gang war is all about. And two prominent rappers were victims of that set of circumstances in Tupac Shakur and Biggie Small, aka Mr. Wallace. That's what happened. So but moving forward now, this is the situation. The situation is, do they have enough to be able to get Mr. Davis,
They have more
aka
than enough.
okay, all right. So
In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, they
mhm,
have
mhm,
more than enough right out of
yeah,
his very own mouth, first
okay.
of all.
Well, let's go and listen to some of the
And
things that
then
came out of here. Go
and
ahead.
and also Suge Knight said that KVD told him he killed Tupac, that he was in the car. There's other people who are speaking on it now, but they knew years ago. And
Right.
half of these people were informants, so I don't understand the secrecy.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, there's informants everywhere, and that's the one thing that they have a gang of informants, and they're everywhere, and they definitely, these informants are definitely, but you see, here's the thing: you have an informant, they'll say something. See, here's another thing: there's a thing called hearsay, which is means third party confirmation, which you can't try anybody on hearsay. In other words, if I say, Nicole ran over that man in the street the other day, or no, really, Nicole told me she ran over. No, Nicole said she told me she saw a man get run over on the street. That's not Nicole saying it. That's Nicole. That's me saying what Nicole said. That's third party confirmation, which is called hearsay. So these things, these factual situations need to come out to where they can actually say, okay, this is what happened and how it happened, and the person who actually saw the crime being committed is saying it happened. If that makes sense. So
Which is
once again,
PPD. He's saying
right,
it out of his own mouth. And
right,
he
okay,
saw the crime being committed.
okay, all
So
right,
that's why I say he's gonna lose based on the fact that he's telling it himself. He's telling on himself.
okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to see and we're going to listen to what some of the things that Mr. Keefe D, Mr. Davis has said that come out of his mouth. Let's listen to some of the things that he said.
Okay. We can't hear it.
Actually, we can. I hear it real good. You can't. It's real loud over here on this end.
I don't I don't hear it. I see the transcripts, but I don't hear anything. We can't hear it, Ted.
I'm not sure why you can't hear it, but it's loud and clear over here.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm checking on Facebook. So the viewers can't hear it either.
Okay. It's up as loud as it can go. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but coming through my volume is coming through real loud.
That ain't gonna help us, so
Okay. Well, let me see what you're talking about because I don't know what's. I don't know. Yeah, but it's loud.
do you have another clip that you can show? Because this one's not, no one can hear it.
Okay, we're gonna play another video because you say you can't hear it, but I can hear real perfect. But we're gonna
But
play another video.
it may be that you can hear it, but if the audience can't hear it, then
Okay,
it's not.
we're gonna play another one. We're gonna play another video.
Okay. I don't think we can hear this one either.
Well, that's never happened where these videos that we playing, they
Test it
couldn't
out
hear.
yourself. Test it out. I got my phone and I'm checking. I'm not just saying something to be saying it.
This has never happened before, is what I'm telling you. Ever.
That's okay. There's a first time for everything.
Yeah, you're right.
See, because I'm checking it on my phone and on my computer. I can hear us, but I cannot hear this video. That means anybody watching cannot hear this video.
To be honest with you, I don't believe that the audience can actually hear us talking, but we'll
They
find
can.
out soon. You can
They
hear me
can.
talking now?
Maybe you got the wires crossed. They can, because I'm using another device to test it. So you don't trust me, Ted? Is that what this is?
What we're gonna do? What we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk because this has never happened before where they couldn't hear this video, and I'm using several different ones, and they've always been able to hear it. Always.
That's true, but they can't hear it now. I'm testing it out.
Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and go straight to it. I know they can hear it, but I'm gonna go ahead and go straight to.
So you don't trust me. You're saying you know they can hear it.
They've always been able to hear it. They've always put these videos.
Why don't you test it out on your device?
Well, I don't know how you can test it out live because
go to your Facebook, log into your Facebook, and look at your live stream and see if you can hear the video. That's what I did.
All right. So this is a conversation that we're talking about when it comes to the gang members and how they came into the neighborhood. So this was just a little small bit of what was being said, how it was being said regarding this coming together as Bloods and Crips, etc. And that's just a little small from one of the persons that knew about the neighborhoods and what they were saying regarding how this thing came together as far as the different neighborhoods and sets.
Came together.
And
Came
so,
together to do what?
Yeah. So, but there's actually the trial is going on as we speak right now. The trial is going on as we speak, and we're going to tap into some of that to see exactly where it's at. So,
When you say they came together, what did they? Because we couldn't hear the video. So what did they come together for?
well, wait a minute. You keep saying that, but I don't know if that's true. That you couldn't hear the video.
Ted, why would I lie about that?
Or maybe you're just making a mistake. Listen. So we're going to find out whether the video being played.
Why would I make that up? I'm in this video with you.
They came together in terms of neighborhoods. In other words, people moving into the neighborhood. Listen, I'm not saying you lying. I'm just saying that this is never. You've always been able to hear these videos never, ever, ever has it been. Uh, let's focus on uh, what's going on with this situation with the trial. Okay, so the trial uh, is going live right now. Yeah, the trial is happening this very second as we speak, and we're going to see if we can find out. We're going to see some other footage from the trial. And so yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Let's see.
Can I give some of my thoughts while you're pulling up your footage?
Say it again.
Can I give some of my thoughts while you're pulling up your footage?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna start with Mob James. Did you see him on the stand, by the way?
Did I see who on the stage?
Mob James, did you see him on the stand when he took the stand?
Okay, hold on just a second. Yeah, hold on just a second, because I got
Some audio issues, right? You can't hear, right?
the person that's on the stand. You asked me if I
Did
seen
you
the
see
person on
Mob
the stand.
James? Did you see Mob James when he took the stand?
Yeah, I did.
So his testimony was extremely unhelpful. He kept saying he didn't want to answer these questions because he didn't want to send TPD away for life. Well, that statement alone is answering the question. Is saying that TPD has a lot of guilt to the case that would get him sent away. Just the way that everything he said on the stand was contradictory to what he was saying he wanted to do. He didn't want to send him away. He didn't want to hurt his case. He didn't want to answer the questions. He didn't even want to be there. But the way that he answered the questions showed nothing but guilt for KPD. I wish you should play that footage.
Well, that in which he said, and I will play the footage. Since you mentioned it, that in which what he said is not answering the question does not mean that doesn't manifest guilt in the court of law. There are certain things in the court of law that's a little bit different in terms of what evidence can be presented and what the jury has to take in as evidence. So if he
The
didn't say
jury takes in
anything,
everything that they hear and everything that they see is taken in. Okay.
but the man didn't say anything. In fact, the man said that he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to. He didn't want to. No matter why he didn't want to talk. The point is he didn't say anything. Which by him not saying anything does not implicate that there's guilt by the
He
defendant.
said a lot. He said a lot, Ted. While he's saying I don't even want to be here. I'm a hostile witness.
Well,
Do
what
I
does that
have to
say?
answer this?
What
He
does that say?
answered it in depth.
That's not in depth. That's not in the court of law. That's not in
No,
depth.
no. He answered the
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
in depth,
yeah. That does mean
explaining
that.
how
That
the
means that he.
violence and the gang war happened. That's not in depth. I didn't know that shit. So that's in
Well,
depth.
no, that's not in depth as far as guilt toward the
Look,
defendant. Yeah,
you know
it
what
has
the
to
big
be.
problem is with black people? They don't know when to shut the fuck up. They don't know when not to talk. They don't know what hurts or what helps. If he was a hostile witness and he didn't want to hurt the case, he should have pled the fifth. He should have said, I do not recall. He should not have went in depth. He didn't have to go off on the lawyer. He didn't have to say, man, check your lawyer, man. Your lawyer shouldn't be asking these questions, man. He should have kept his mouth shut. Like he said he was going to do. He didn't want to answer. He didn't have to.
Well, the man did not say anything that would implicate the defendant as being guilty. That's the key. Regardless if he could have took the
He,
fifth. He could have took the fifth. In fact, he could have said, but the thing is that the fifth is only, you have to understand what the fifth means, okay? And the Fifth Amendment says, I don't want to say to incriminate myself.
okay,
Doesn't have anything to do with the defendant. The fifth
okay,
says, I'm pleading the fifth so I don't incriminate myself. But
okay.
he's not talking about himself. He's talking about the defendant. So
So he could have said he doesn't remember. He could have said I don't know. He answered the question in depth while saying I don't want to answer the question, and when I answer this question, it's going to hurt his case.
yeah,
That's not the
yeah.
type of witness I want. Just
Well,
just just for future reference, if I'm ever on trial for anything, don't
okay,
bring
so
nobody who don't know how to handle themselves on the stand to my case.
this is what you have to. This is where you, as a person that is reporting what happened, has to understand he was not a witness for the defense. He was a witness for the prosecution. He was not a witness for the defense. He was a
Okay.
witness for the prosecution. The prosecution is the one who subpoenaed him to come on trial. It wasn't
That brings me to another point, and that's a good point. That is a very good point because I don't know if I seen his whole testimony, but I seen the part where the defense was questioning him. I did not see the prosecution question him. But that brings me to another point, which goes along the lines of the video you showed at first, where Mob James was talking to the lawyer when he came out of the courtroom, and he was explaining to the lawyer, the questions you asking is hurting the case, hurting your your client. That's what
right,
he was telling the lawyer. So that
right.
brings me to another point that lawyer sucks. That lawyer is a horrible lawyer. He
Okay,
was not asking the right questions that would actually defend his client. He was
okay,
asking questions that can get his client deeper in the hole.
okay. Well, that may be
My opinion. Once
that may have
again,
in fact
this
been
is
the
my
case.
opinion.
Well, I mean, when we making these observations regarding what the fifth is, and the man saying some things that's incriminating, but he didn't say anything that, in my opinion, that was incriminating. But here's the thing: what we can do. Let's watch the video, and hopefully people can hear this video because I don't understand why people can't because they've always been able to hear the video before. Okay, so we're gonna play what the man what was said by Mob D and Mob James. My bad, Mob James, and see exactly we can't hear anything that was him trying to get Mr. Keefe D, uh, you know, uh, or hurting his case or trying to hurt his
I
case.
don't think he was trying to hurt his case.
Okay.
I think he thinks he was helping, to be honest. I don't think he was trying to hurt the case. Tim, we can't hear it.
No, you can't hear it. I don't know why.
I'm on your live stream. This is your live stream. Can't hear it.
Okay.
If we
Well,
can see, we can hear me and you.
no, you okay. All right. Okay. So, uh, okay. So on your end, you're saying you can't hear him talking on your end.
I cannot hear it on my end, and when I log into your live stream, it's not. We can't hear it on there either.
So you're saying on your end, when this man is talking, you can't hear him talk, because I can hear him perfectly. I can hear him talking perfectly. He's talking
Right.
about shit.
I think you're the only one who can hear it perfectly. Maybe because it's in your headphones.
Okay.
Maybe check the sound real quick.
Okay. Let's see.
Because I want to hear it so we can comment on it, you know?
Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out. You. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see.
I don't hear anything still. I'm not making this up. If anybody can confirm if they can hear it or not, I'm literally trying on 2 different devices to verify that I just haven't lost my marbles. I don't hear anything still. I'm not making this up. Ted's gonna blame me. The audio isn't working, but I swear I'm just the
Well, I
messenger.
went out. I just went out just to make
I'm
sure
just
that
the messenger, you
that's
know?
fine.
Don't shoot the
That's fine.
messenger.
Well, I'm not shooting the message. I'm just saying that it's never happened before, and so this will be the first time that you can hear the videos. And I'm not sure that I can see, I can hear me, but I can
Can
see
you
when I'm
check
not
it on
talking
your phone?
on volume. I'm not on the
Because
phone.
I don't want you to
I'm
think
on the
I'm making
computer.
stuff up and we
I'm
watch
on the computer.
footage that we can't hear, you know?
I'm on the computer right now. I'm not on my phone. You said you want me to check my phone.
I'm saying, can you verify if you
Well,
never
we're gonna
mind.
go. We're gonna have a 10-minute break in this shortly, and we can, in a 10-minute break,
We can
and
test
what?
it out.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take it. We'll be on a 10-minute, having a 10-minute break in a few minutes, and that 10-minute break, we can see you play the video on the telephone.
I'm gonna take a break now because I can't hear nothing.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be back.
I guess you went to a scout. Okay, so that's what he was talking about. He was talking, and again, uh, there's some conversation that we can't hear him talking, and we're going to check that out and see what's going on. But the point is he's talking about the situation with with uh, with the circumstances. Okay, Nicole. Uh, there was a possibility that you're not mistaken, because I don't see any volume coming on here when he's talking. So we're gonna find out. But the point is that he was talking about the situation, uh, saying that it was Suge and P Diddy that this whole thing was wrapped around, and so that's what he was saying, and so again, um, that's basically what he was talking about. So um, yeah, so I don't know what other than the fact that he was talking about uh, the sides were pretty much fighting between what Suge Knight and P Diddy was going through.
Yeah, I need to hear it again so I can comment on it. So when you get the audio right, I want you to play it again. So comment.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to we're going to take we're not ready to take a 10-minute break anyway.
Okay.
We're going to take a 10-minute break and we'll be back. And when we come back, we'll see if we can get the audio, making sure the audio is working like it's supposed to. So
Okay.
10 minutes. We'll be back. All right, we're back. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually look at who the characters are in these scenarios, and plainly watching the photos will explain whom and what we're talking about regarding this situation. So that may be the best way to go about doing this, because once again, I don't know what's supposed to be happening with um, of you know what's happening. Okay. But we're going to continue on with the stream here, and we're going to get to get an opportunity to see the players are in this situation, if that makes sense. So yeah, we have let's go who these players are, right? It's just simple to do it that, and distinguish we distinguish as to exactly what's happening and how it's happening. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're going to look at the um, photos now. We're not going to play any videos. I'm not sure what's going on here, and I don't have time to take a look at it. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the photos of individuals involved in this trial. So right here we have Dwayne Keefe D. Davis in court for the trial. Okay, so the murder trial, um, based on his involvement. Now he's not been actually charged with the crime, but as a participant, a co-conspirator, if you will, within the crime. They're not saying that he actually did the shooting. The Lane, baby Lane, his relative is supposed to have done the shooting. Agree on that?
But he can get life for his involvement. Am I right about that? Or
Say it one more
no?
time.
He can get life for his involvement in the crime, right? Isn't
Okay.
this a life sentence?
Uh, that part I don't know. I don't know exactly what the deal is with his
I should look it
whatever
up.
kind of deal that they gave him. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. So that's a good question. But I know that this is the players in the trial. Him, of course, Shakur, the victim, Tupac Shakur, um, and then of course. We have right here James McDonald, uh, who Suge Knight calls a rat. So that's James McDonald, and he was the one that was talking about that he want to say certain things, that his lawyer wanted him to say certain things, but he said it with the prosecution too. When the prosecution was asking him questions, he was saying the same thing. On video you'll see that, and so he's not necessarily a good witness for the prosecution, nor a good witness for the defense, because he said in open court that he didn't like uh, QPD. You know, yeah. Any comment? No.
Any comments from me?
Yeah.
No.
Any comment? No. Well, basically, these are the players that are within the case. And you know, that's really what's going on here.
think? I got a question for you. What do you
Okay,
think
sure.
so far with the trial? How do you think it's going for Keefe D? Are they proving his innocence or no?
Well, what I think is, I think that the tape recording of what he's saying is it's damaging. It's damaging. But the jurors will be instructed to, if they find him guilty, he has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. In other words, no question about it, no doubt about it, that he was, he was involved. His involvement has been proven in a court of law, and so that's the main thing regarding this particular case. That they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that his involvement has been proven. That makes sense. Does that make sense?
That I understand the rules of courts in the trial,
Okay. Okay.
but so far, what you've seen, you particular, if you were the jury, would you say that he was guilty or not?
Well, me being on the jury, I haven't heard
Yes.
all the testimony. The testimony that I heard most of is that uh, his recordings, and I was playing that, but you said you can't hear it, so But the point is that the recordings is has some weight to it. In other words, he's saying certain things happen, and and if they did happen, based on what he's saying, he's basically, the foundation has been laid, and that's the reason why the evidence has come in, because there was a foundation that can be proven as to his involvement, right? Otherwise, that evidence wouldn't have came in like it did. They allowed the evidence to come in because um, it's proof. It's proof that that he knew something about it. Because he said it. It was proven, based on the foundation, and that's why how the evidence came in the first place. So that right there, in and of itself, says, like, for example, if I say uh, Nicole slapped me, right, and it was no foundation laid, they wouldn't be able to bring that into the court. So, for example, if I say Nicole slapped me, and somebody said they saw her slap me too, then that that person will go in, will testify, saying that, hey, look, yeah, I saw the slap, right? So that evidence can come in. That's factual. So there's got to be some foundation, and then of course there has to be some uh, proof to the foundation that says that implies guilt. So that's what's going on here. So all the evidence that we're seeing, they've already laid the foundation out so that that evidence can come in, which is those tapes, right? Because they didn't have no foundation. Those tapes weren't coming in, and they're in. So obviously the judge has says yes, we can use those tapes because they met the foundation proof that allegations, okay, that he has said certain things on on with the tapes that says that he was involved or he knew some things about it. Obviously, he knew some things about it. He obviously could say, they can't say, for example, there's nobody that's going to come on the witness stand and say he had the gun and he handed it to me and told me to shoot Tupac, right? Yeah, there's nobody that can say that because everybody else is, besides him, he's the only one alive that was in that car. Nobody else is alive that's in that car. Everybody else had been deceased, right? So we have a lot of things going on. Like, for example, they brought some testimony in to the to the case as to certain individuals who, in fact, were around the time when this, like, for example, you have this gentleman here. Um, okay, so they call him. So let's go back to this. It says here, you better treat me as a hostile witness. Sir Ignite Associate said in combative testimony during Tupac murder trial. So this is what they were calling him. McDonald a hostile witness. Okay, that's
Yeah,
the
my
talking. You know that. Yeah, you call him a hostile witness, but this guy right here, Reggie White, who actually was a police officer and father. His father is was a lieutenant that actually arrested at one time Mr. McDonald. Right, he testified that this gentleman's father in the neighborhood actually arrested him. So, okay, Reggie White Sr., actually, who was a lieutenant in the Los Angeles Police Department, arrested him. Okay, so this young man right here, or not so young, but he was a police officer himself, but he was along the law enforcement side of the of security, where this guy here was part of the gang side of security. McDonald. So that's what that's what he was testifying, and so he didn't say it again.
I didn't watch Red. I didn't watch all of. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up.
Hear
So go
me?
ahead. I can hear you now.
Okay. I want to make sure. But so Reggie White, I didn't hear all of his testimony. A former cop who been in jail and all of that shit. He was security for Tupac and Suge back then. So where the hell was I don't know. I question all these people. Who Suge Knight, Slim Daddy, Mob James, PCD, all of them are guilty. If you ask me.
Well, they made the
They were complicit in the murder of Tupac. Reggie
okay. So let
Wright
me ask you
was
this.
supposed
Let
to
me ask you this question.
be
Let me ask you this question. What are they guilty of? What are they guilty of?
not
You said all of them
protecting
are guilty,
not protecting Tupac. They knew he had just got into this fight. All of these niggas is from the street, right? They all from LA. They all from the gang culture, whether they're police, security, or whatnot. They're all from there.
okay. So where's
So
the
that
crime?
Orlando,
Where's
they
the
did not
crime?
protect Tupac. That's the crime.
Is that a crime? Is that a crime?
Huh?
Is that a
I'm
crime?
saying they're guilty of causing his death. They are guilty of that too. They in my opinion, they knew the shit was gonna happen. Reggie Wright was the security at the time. They knew Tupac had just got into this fight at the casino, and you would think that security would secure the car that Suge and Tupac was driving in to go from one destination to the next. But he didn't. He's the security. And he was already at the location that they were headed to. Instead of having cars on them and protecting the car, especially after what had just happened in the casino, especially after that fight. They know who the Orlando Anderson is, the boy who got beat up by Tupac. They know who his uncle, Suge knows it. Reggie Wright knows it. They all know these people. They already know what's gonna happen after you beat somebody down like Tupac did. So
Okay.
they're guilty of.
So where is the crime? See, because they knew doesn't mean that manifests into a crime because they didn't protect him or they were. Matter of fact, Suge Knight was in the car with
I'm
him.
not saying that
Okay,
they
so
should be on trial. I'm saying they are guilty.
of what?
I just told you of not protecting the money. Not protecting the money because they knew more money comes after you die. That's why. They
Okay.
knew
Well, there is some thing. There's something called statute. And the statute they give a description of what a crime is, and they give you the elements of what manifests a crime. And unfortunately, that probably would manifest a crime because they didn't protect him, because
What
he
what I'm
was.
saying is, I'm talking about in a court of law, Ted. I'm not saying that they can bring a case against them for that. I'm saying in the court of nature and people being people and of not doing your job. If your only job is to secure and protect Tupac and Suge, why would you not do that? Especially after this big altercation that they just publicly had.
So
Now, two of them
whose fault is it?
driving down Las Vegas Boulevard with a window.
Whose fault is it that that Tupac Shakur decided he was going to go and have an altercation, voluntarily have an altercation with this young man, and have a whole mob behind him, and approach the gentleman
And
that
the
was all
whole
by
mob
himself, and jumped on
when
him,
he got killed.
and he was right there.
Ain't
He was right there in the mix, jumping on him as well. And
who?
Tupac Shakur, he was right there in the video. He was walking through the casino. Yeah, right. And so, so now you're going to say that they're guilty because the man decided he was going to go take it upon himself to walk up to an individual to snatch off his chain. Yeah, by him. He had a big mob of people behind him. I mean,
Where was when
the
Tupac got killed? That's my point. That is
what's your
exactly
point?
my point. He had a big mob of people behind him, and none of those people protected him when it was time to. After what just happened, that's the time to act into protection. Like, nigga, you shouldn't have did
Well,
that. Now you need to watch out for all of these niggas that that's gonna be coming after you for what you did. That's the time to swarm with protection.
well, obviously, someone or some persons, okay, decided to even allow him to approach that young man, Baby Lane, in the first place. This guy here is an artist. He's a musician. He's an actor. Okay, that's not his.
Who?
Should not even. Tupac
Exactly.
Shakur. Tupac Shakur is. And so
Uh-huh.
therefore, you're going to tell him, look, man, that's not. This is exactly what. Excuse me. That's exactly what uh, James McDonald was saying when he was saying that he shouldn't even been involved. He shouldn't even have. He
Exactly.
shouldn't even. Yeah, right. Exactly. So somebody should have told him if they was going to protect him from himself, because he's the one who decided he was going to go ahead and approach that guy and do what he did.
Somebody pointed out who you're calling Baby Lanes. Oh, and reported him out to Tupac because they said Tupac didn't even know the guy. He didn't know the guy. He didn't know Keefe D. Now Suge Knight knew Keefe D. Suge Knight and Reggie Wright knew Keefe D. And Mob James knew Keefe D. But Tupac didn't. Right? So
Okay.
somebody pointed out Orlando to Tupac and said that's the guy who did woo woo woo. And yes, Tupac took it upon himself to start beating that dude down. Right in mind is all of that. Because you're right. They never let Tupac put his hands on nobody. You're an actor, you're a rapper, you're in the public eye. Why the fuck are you fighting in the casino? That shouldn't have never
Okay,
happened.
so that's not. No one can be implicated for a crime behind someone else's actions. He is the one who approached that man, and he is the guy who is. Yes, you mentioned a crime. Yes, you're mentioning a crime. You're the one talking about they have it was a crime that they didn't protect him.
You don't get it. They're all a part of what happened because it was set up that way. It's not accidental. None of it.
Okay, so you're telling me. So you're telling me Shakur set up his own demise. Is that what you're saying? Because he was the one who walked up to that young man with a whole slew of people. There was about 10 people picking on him, beating on him, right? Yeah. There was a whole bunch of people that was beating him. That wasn't a one-on-one fight.
He is definitely the cause, a big cause of his own demise. But what I just all those people was there during the fight. None of those people were there when he got killed. Why not?
There was a whole caravan of cars behind them as they were headed to what do they call 662, whatever 662 club is. There were a whole car. Yes, it was a whole because the guy who took the picture. Obviously, you have not been following this. Obviously, you have not been following this because you would not be shaking your head no, because that's exactly what was reported. It was reported there was a whole car,
people. If it was a caravan of protection, there were people the guy who took the very last picture of Tupac, he wasn't part of the caravan. He was just driving by. He knew you, and he spoke to Tupac before. He said, "Can I take a picture?"
What did the guy do after he took the picture? What did he do? Drive off, or what did he do?
He tried to drive off, but the shooting broke out, and he got hemmed up by the police because the police didn't.
That wasn't his testimony. His testimony was he takes the picture, and some cars pull up in front of him, and he pulls behind the car, about 3 cars behind Suge Knight and Tupac's car, as part of that caravan. He pulls in right behind him. He's like 3 cars back from them. That's his testimony. That's his testimony. After he took the picture, that was his testimony. Okay, I watch the videos. I don't get on these shows without me watching these videos to find out what's going on, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And the man got behind 2, 3. He said his testimony was after he took the picture, some cars pulled up in front of him, and he pulled behind the car, 3 cars down. And then as it was moving, he heard some shots, and then he seen the car make an immediate U-turn. And when they made a U-turn, he followed all the rest of them and made a U-turn as well. And when he got to where when they stopped the car and to check on Tupac, he said that the police had him get down on the ground. When the police came and had him get down on the ground, then let him go wherever he went. He went back to the casino. I think the casino came back and got him and said, "You have to come back with us," so he can give some more testimony as to what's going on. That's what he testified to. The person who took the picture, the guy who took the picture of Tupac.
It still doesn't help the case. He still was able to drive right up next to them and get a picture. So there was no caravan of protection. That still proves my point. And Reggie Wright was already after.
Okay, so them driving down the street, they said that Tupac was hanging out the car. That's what they said.
Yeah.
And so
he said what part was that Tupac wasn't hanging outside the car? Lack of security.
Okay, so you can talk about lack of security all you want. I want to hear where there's a crime in that lack of security. There's no crime in lack of security. There is a negligence in terms of lack of security, maybe, but no crime.
They're guilty of negligence. Is that the word you want me to use? They're guilty of negligence?
You can use whatever words you want to use. I'm just saying that, but the negligence in terms of the term of negligence does not necessarily manifest a crime.
It's not
because
just
the man
negligence.
is grown. Well, okay, so if you decide you want to go out there and drive around outside, hanging out the car, and somebody hits you, whose negligence is it? That's my question.
It's the person who hit me. But let me ask you this: if you were famous, a rapper, singer, whatever, let's say you're famous, and you just had an altercation with somebody, right? But you got security, right? What are you expecting your security to do? To secure you, right? They never let you hang out. No security don't let you hang out no car after you just got into a fight with a gang member and you
Okay.
just beat him down with a gang member. The lack of security, the negligence, I'm referring to the fact that the negligence is not just accidental. I am saying that the negligence was on purpose. That's what I'm alluding to. I'm not
Okay.
saying that a court of law can bring them to trial for negligence. I'm saying that Suge Knight knew what was going to happen. Reggie Wright knew what was going to happen. Keefe D knew what was going to happen. Tupac, the only one didn't know what was going to happen because he thought he was Tupac. But he ain't from LA. He from New York. And LA gang members is different.
Okay. Well, you know what Tupac Shakur should first and foremost have the wherewithal to stay in his lane, not become no gang member when he was a rapper. Okay, he's not a gang member. He didn't got shot already going to New York. You know, so you know he should have slowed his little roll and stayed in his lane, and he might be alive today. But he decided he wants to go ahead and be the. I mean, he was walking through the casino, leading the whole crowd. Suge Knight was behind him, right?
And where was that
Walk up to the man.
killed? Absolutely nowhere.
Well,
He depended on bangers to protect him, and they didn't.
well, they did protect him because they jumped on the guy too. They jumped on the guy. Yeah, they Baby Lane, whatever his name is, they jumped on him as well. Okay, they definitely didn't let him get hurt.
And then it was over after that.
They do what?
They didn't protect him.
They protect him as much as they could, obviously. Because the man decided he wanted to jump in the car with Big Bad Suge Knight, who's supposed to be very notorious, you know, and he didn't protect him. You know, he got shot. He got shot.
Yes.
Well,
Suge Knight definitely is a person.
Yeah, see, you have to at least, you know, you make a statement. You have to at least, you know, have a good reason why you're saying these things. You know, you're saying that they committed a crime. There's no crime in it.
I get that you don't want to hear my reason. I get that.
Oh no,
but
I don't care nothing about it. No, I don't know. Listen, whatever your reason is, you know, you just said only thing you said was there was his protection. If the man turned around and said, I don't need no protection, what you gonna do?
I said a lot. You failed to what I'm saying because you don't hear it. You're saying Tupac got himself killed.
That's not true. That's not true because I listened to you know, I heard every word you said, and what you said was that there was a crime, and the crime was they didn't protect you. Now, I'm saying to you, well, where's it on the books when the law says that's a crime? Okay, when the man decided he wanted to lead a charge.
A job. You have one job.
Decide to go out in front and decide to walk out, leading the crowd of people to one individual, not a bunch of individuals, just one guy. They surrounded the guy and just one guy surrounded him and started beating him down. One guy, it wasn't like 50 people. No, with just one person sitting down when they jumped on him, and he was leading the charge. Where was the protection for that guy? Where was his protection? He's the one who got jumped on. Where was his protection? As a matter of fact, that was a crime. Matter of fact, that was a crime. Tupac Shakur committed the first crime when he jumped on the guy. So you can't you haven't said anything about Tupac Shakur committing the crime when he jumped on that guy, you know, with 10 or 12 other people. The man was just sitting there. He walked up on him and jumped on him.
No,
that was a crime.
No. Let me explain to you what I'm saying. I'm not saying Tupac was right for jumping on that guy. What I'm saying is after Tupac jumped on that guy and all the other guys that jumped on that guy, that the other guys knew what was coming next. That's why there was nowhere around Tupac when he got killed. felt, and Suge knew too. Suge knew what was coming next too. I'm saying they all knew what was coming, and Tupac thought he was protected by Suge, by security, including Reggie Wright. But the fact that no one else was around except for Suge, and Suge took some scraping or whatever. I forgot grazing. He took some grazing. He was in the line of fire too. But all those people that you said was there, Tupac beat up that dude. Nobody was there. Nobody was around when Tupac was. That says a lot. They already
Well,
knew
it's not.
what they.
It sounds. Well, you sound like a fan to me. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. You sound like a fan when yeah, a fan. Because if yeah, right. Because if that's what sound like a fan would. I mean, in other words, you got to take in account what the celebrity guy did. And the celebrity guy led a group of people all through a casino to jump on one person, one guy. Okay, yeah. If it had been your brother, I mean, would you still think that Shakur's, Tupac Shakur should have needed protection? If Lane, you know, baby Lane.
He hired somebody to protect. Now, if he did that to my brother, I would expect her to take revenge. But I would think that my brother wouldn't be able to get close enough to him because he is heavily protected. He's supposed to be heavily. So I would want my brother to deal with it. But because he got police, he got security, he got Suge Knight's big ass right there, I think my brother would have to wait to get back to LA to handle it first. But no, my brother was able to handle it that night.
Exactly.
Brother's a hell of
So
a
if that if that was in fact the case, okay, and it did happen just like that, then there had to be some tremendous negligence that took place in terms of how they were able to get to him, knowing that this incident happened. You know, there was obviously because that guy that we're seeing in the picture was at the casino. The other guy, James, was at the club waiting for them to get there. So in between the casino and this club that they were going to, that's when it happened. Now, when it happened, of course, you know, he wasn't by himself. He was in the car leading a bunch of people. You know, they had cars behind him, a whole caravan of people. You know, the guy took a picture, the car pulled in front of him, he pulled behind him, he became part of the caravan to the club wherever they was going. Shots rang out. There was a U-turn being made by the car that was in front, obviously, Tupac Shakur's car, and made a U-turn. But the man was not being discreet, you know, as a celebrity, you know, kicking back, keeping a low profile, you know, especially after someone went down, he was out there waving in the car. To me, he was a little bit too brash and bold and too confident that wasn't nothing going to happen to him. And it did. Okay. Yeah, see, and of course, they thought the same thing as well. Because there wasn't a whole bunch of cars. There wasn't a whole bunch of cars. It was just one car that drove up, shots rang out, took off. One car. And not only that, that car made it all the way back to LA. They drove all the way back to LA. Yeah, see, in the car. Yeah, you see. So you got, and they were probably mad at Shakur. To Tupac Shakur for having all those people going through that casino, a mob of people going through the casino. That's a security breach in and of itself, caused by a celebrity that caused a lot of chaos going on in a place of business, and they were probably mad at him for doing that. Okay, so you know, see, so there's a lot of things you have to got to take in consideration, and that's the reason why I say these people that look like you and I need be a little bit more humble in their approach, right? That in and of itself will take care of them. Say it again.
Need to be what?
A little bit more, a lot more humble. Okay, yeah, to put themselves in harm's way. Okay, yeah, and that's basically what he did not do. He did not keep himself out of harm's way, and that's what happened. That was the outcome of it all.
And
So
that's what
we could
that's
talk
what
till we blue in the face, but there's no crime when it comes down to him wanting to be a thug. It's a little bit different if he was like, okay, I ain't no thug, and I'm not gonna act like I'm a thug. But no, that's not what the man did. He wanted to be all of a sudden a gang member, and the man said that Tupac was kind of sort of representing their neighborhood, but wasn't from the neighborhood. Seen him maybe three times in Compton. Out of all the time that he knew of him, three times he might have saw him in Compton. So he wasn't from there. And he said he shouldn't have had no business doing what he did. And that was the bottom line. Well, see, this is probably one of the reasons why this thing took so long. And here's another reason why it took so long, because the man was talking and boasting and bragging about a situation that the police said, well, we just gonna sweep this one under the rug because the victim ain't a victim. Yeah, he's a victim, but he's a victim that caused his own demise. And so, you know what? Shame on him, right? Yeah, we'll get the ones, we'll get the, and then on top of that, our gang war started soon thereafter. They really ain't gonna worry about the situation now. They can make sure they can create their own genocide. Not even worry about it. So all these things have a tendency, to play itself out. And that's once again, I'm saying that we need to get humble and understand, because we got two people, icons in the music industry that could have did some big things for the community, but they're no longer here because of it. That's set a second. And what did Biggie Smalls do? He certainly didn't go through no casino causing all this havoc. He was in and out. Yeah. He didn't do nothing that that anything close to. They can say that when he was when Tupac Shakur was in New York and got shot up. They can say, well, that had something to do with Bad Boy, but maybe it didn't have nothing to do with Biggie Small. Maybe it had something to do with Pup Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs. Everybody pointing the finger at him right now. Saying
kind
that it
of
was between Suge Knight and Sean Combs. That's what James said. That's what James said. That's what this whole thing was about.
you said Tupac caused his own demise. What did Biggie do? Biggie didn't beat up nobody. So
No, he didn't.
So Tupac deserved it, but Biggie is just as dead as Tupac.
Well, I don't say that any of them deserve to be
It sounds like you were saying. I think you actually said Tupac deserved to be dead.
You better. No,
Or
I did not. Did not even come close to saying that. You need to get your facts straight, because I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. There's a tape you can always play, okay? And I'll make you a bet right now, $100. I didn't say that.
words, but that was implication. But you said caused his own
I
demise.
sure did.
So
I sure did say that.
the whole thing. You did say that,
Yeah,
right?
well,
So
yeah, I sure did say
so
that.
what if
You breaking up? What did you say?
oh. Can you hear me now?
A little better.
Am I
Breaking up a little bit, but if you what's the question? The question is, I'm
I
listening to
said
you.
if
Whatever.
I guess you can't hear me. Because every time I start talking, you start talking.
I'm
I'll
not
let
saying
you
a word
talk.
now. Go ahead. I'm not saying a word now. Go ahead. I mean, the equipment. I mean,
Is the cause of his own demise, then why did Biggie end up dead?
Biggie ended up dead because James McDonald said somebody had to pay from bad boys, and because there was this thing going on
They
between.
didn't pay.
I don't
Everybody's
know what you're
getting for
talking
it.
about. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but if if you want me to finish my statement so you can hear me, when I'm done, I'll say, go ahead. And here's what happened. What happened was is James said that there had to be some retaliation because this whole thing, in their opinion, came from Biggie's, from Sean Diddy Combs and Suge Knight, because Sean Diddy Combs went to Keith TPD to pay them $1 million to kill Tupac, right?
But they didn't know
So
that
this,
big thing. That's why they was the big game war in LA.
I don't know, but you need to get you some better equipment because I can't understand what you're saying. You know,
After yours didn't work.
I don't understand. Well, mine, I'm not sure. 'Cause if you're talking about,
Come out and come back in.
okay. Anyway, so the point is that I'm making is that the war obviously started before this incident in Las Vegas. Obviously, because they're not saying it, but they are saying it, that there was friction between Sean P. Diddy Combs and Suge Knight. And we know that Tupac Shakur went to New York and got shot up, right? It's supposed to have been having a recording session with Biggie Small and got shot up. And this is all having to do with the killing of of okay, Shakur, I mean Tupac Shakur, but also uh, Puff Daddy. I mean not Puff Daddy, but Biggie Small. So this is all part of this whole thing, right? They're intertwined, right? To get to the players that are involved, they're saying it but not saying it. It's coming out more so as implications, sort of like circumstantial evidence, right? But we're not in the circumstance, we're not in the civil court, we're in criminal court. So criminal says you have to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. Whereas if it was a civil case, just the partners of evidence. Well, we got more than partners of evidence if it was a civil case, but this is not. It's a criminal case. And it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to implicate this PPD with a crime that's going to put him in jail for the rest of his life and give him a deal to turn state's evidence against Sean P. Diddy Combs. And that's what this whole thing is about. Right. Yeah. You get that? Yeah. Yeah. So it's only obvious in my mind that this whole thing is about getting Keefe, Mr. Davis, a case where he will be could be sentenced for life, and then turn evidence against Sean Combs, who is in federal court right now. And that's the reason why earlier I was listening to some uh, tapes from Suge Knight saying that if he was Sean Combs right about now, he would be very, very, very nervous. And then, yeah, he needs to be very, very nervous. But that's basically what's happening right here. It's only, you don't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's happening. What's happening right now is okay. Now it's time for you to pay for what you did, or what you involved in. Because obviously, Sean Combs is in prison, and if he was in a situation where his um, standing, he done made somebody mad. We don't know who, but if the standing was where he was still would manifest his protection, he would not be in jail. That's therefore we can only surmise that he is a sacrificial lamb now. And otherwise he wouldn't be in jail. But now he's talking about getting him out. We're gonna keep him in, and that's what's happening here. What's happening here is they're gonna get Mr. Davis because he obviously had enough protection before Combs went to jail to keep talking. But now that they got him, they're gonna get him for a whole bunch of time. Then they're gonna go after Sean P. Diddy Combs. And that's what's gonna happen. And so that's what you can look forward to, seeing Mr. Combs uh, being implicated as the mastermind behind this situation uh, with Tupac, giving him as a conspirator. Yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, so I give my take. I don't know if you heard it, but
I didn't hear it. I was trying to log back in. I missed it.
okay, yeah, my take is that they're gonna get Mr. Davis, okay, and get him and give him a whole gang of time so they can go after Sean P. Diddy Combs, but set this whole thing up. Yeah, and that's basically because obviously they did something they did obviously to have Tupac Shakur run around going after people, uh, you know,
Did
like a
you say?
madman.
Did you say what you say about Diddy? That they wait,
I
say that
said
about Diddy again.
I said that they are coming after Sean Combs using Davis as the person that they're going to use to turn on Sean Combs, right? Yeah, because
Okay.
obviously Sean Combs obviously was protecting him some kind of way, had enough clout to protect him. They managed at P. Diddy for doing something, and somebody is, otherwise he wouldn't be in jail today. But now that he's in jail and he's not so infallible to prosecution,
Mm-hmm.
he's in there, and they will go ahead now using Mr. Davis to turn against Sean Combs. And that's basically what.
Yeah, he already did that.
Yeah, well he hasn't done it to the fullest, but even though he probably, because he ain't been convicted a whole bunch of times, but he will. He's going to, once they give him all this time, he's going to turn state evidence against Sean Combs, and Sean Combs will never see the light of day. He'll be in jail for the rest of his life as well. That's how the whole thing is set up. You have to know how, you have to see how this stuff is going to be playing itself out, because there's so many tentacles. It's obviously that they know exactly what's going on, but with these tentacles out there, they did not, decide to let sleeping dogs lie. They got him. He was the first one. He's the shooter, and they got him off top. See, they
When did
got
he
rid of
get
him.
killed? I
When did
can't
he get
see.
killed? Okay,
Yeah.
let me see if we can blow it up a little bit and see if we can get it when he got killed. Let's see here. Let's see here. It says here, Orlando Anderson. Let me see if I can get it to get bigger. I'm trying, but let me. I don't know if I can do it. Can't see where I can make it bigger. But it says here, Orlando Anderson, 1995, Baby Lane, Southside Compton Crips, Compton, infamy photograph released spring of 2028, 2000, what does it say? 2026. It looks like. Follow my true crime podcast. Okay, so this is the guy talking about the true crime podcast. But I'm
I'm
gonna see.
gonna
Let me see.
Google it. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, the man who killed Tupac. That's what it said right here. So they know who killed him. They know who killed
Yeah,
him.
they
But
did know who killed him. So he got killed on May 29th, 1998. So I thought he
okay,
got killed a couple months after Tupac. He got killed a couple years after Tupac.
okay, right. So they have to start knocking these guys off, because if they don't knock them off, they're gonna start telling. And obviously they trusted.
They knocked off the wrong
Huh?
one. Then they knocked off the wrong one because QPD been telling since what they say when he did that first I think since 2008.
Yeah, but he has been talking. But he's been talking just enough to keep him from killing him, right? He's talking
Keep
just
who from
enough,
killing him?
keeping the people who've been kidnapped, probably Sean Combs, the one who offered him $1 million to kill Tupac. He said never got all the money, the $1 million. He said he never
Right,
got
but
all
he
the
got
$1 million.
100,000.
Right, yeah, but never got all the money. And so he probably figured, well, you know what? Let me go and start talking a little bit because this will protect me. Okay, because I'm subject to be the next one. To back him up. So he always said he get that, he's gonna open up a whole can of worms. But what he was doing, he was talking too much, and um, the Las Vegas Department of Justice said we got to go get him. And we're gonna get Combs too because Combs is making us look like a fool too. So I mean, it's all it is what it is. And what it is just you have to follow in this case the players because it ain't the money because black folks ain't got a lot of money. Even Suge Knight ain't got a dime right now, probably. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah,
Suge
almost.
Knight ain't got nothing right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But he
See,
had it
so
all then. He had it all then.
oh yeah, exactly. Well, same thing with all these guys. As Suge Knight calls him, Rat James, saying that he ain't got ain't got no money. Only thing he got is a little podcast that he got going, and that's what
Right.
he's doing now. See, so none of these guys are able to, wherever they get, understand they need to do certain things to keep it. And part of that process is, stay out the way. Keep a profile in such a way where you're not better than nobody. You're just keep yourself humble. Stay within the confines of the law for sure, and stay prayed up at all times. That's my take on it. See, and so you know, follow God's plan, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. But in this case, these guys obviously got a lot to worry about because they put themselves in a gangland uh, position, and that's what happened. That's the problem. So that's all of them. So it's going to be a very interesting set of circumstances because, like I said, T Diddy's next. And they know it because I listened to this Suge Knight, and I'm not gonna play it now because it seems that we're having some kind of audio difficulties going on right now, and so I'm not even gonna play it because you know, just in case,
But
uh, you know, just in case
tell us
there
what
is,
it was though.
huh?
What were you gonna play?
Say again. What was I gonna
What
play?
was it that you were gonna play?
I was gonna play when where Suge Knight was saying that he'd be worried if he was Sean Combs right about now. That he would be worried because TCD turns on everybody. That's what he was saying. He turns on people. I mean, the man. Listen, nobody is. He's the only one living. Everybody else in that car is dead. Everybody. He's the only one still living, so he must be still living for a reason. He did a book. Right? He did a book. But let me go ahead and do this book real quick. I'll do this book, let them know I'm talking a little bit. So back up off me. I'll tell the whole story. You're not making sure, but people know. That Mob James or James McDonald saying, it's between Suge Knight and Sean Diddy Combs. This whole thing is all about them. It was all between them, and that's what got their artist, their number one artist, knocked off. You know, and so yeah, they got their number one artist, both of them dead.
Yep.
Yeah, see, so it's not hard. It's not hard to figure. It's not hard to figure this stuff out. And like I said, that moving forward, should be no gangs, no such thing as a gang in the community in which we come from. None. Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, that should not be in the. That should not be. That's not what we do. It should not be what we do. 'Cause peace, love, and harmony. What we should be doing, and hang on to that. You know, and that's it. So that's what happened. And until they understand, yeah, yeah, until they understand, what happened, having no peace, love, and harmony amongst themselves, got all of them went down. All of them went down. They don't. The guy said that the worst thing could have happened to them was death row, death row, and they call it death row to their own demise. I mean, because they call it life row or something, but they call it death row. These things that they say, how you say words. Words mean something. Yeah, how you put the words out there in the universe, it comes back to haunt you. That's what they're another thing they don't understand. And it's over with for them. You see, it's over with for them. You got some people, still, and they're trying to, implicate Snoop Dogg. This is Suge
Mhm.
Knight talking. Right? He's, put Snoop Dogg in the equation as well. See, he got something to worry about as well. See, so these things, you know, uh, this whole thing. Yeah, you got to figure out why did Snoop Dogg decide to help Donald Trump in his inauguration? That's what he did. He like said, well, Snoop Dogg was doing what? He performing for Donald Trump. You see, these are the things that you like saying,
What are you
wow,
trying
what?
to say? That
But
Snoop is looking for a pardon or something?
well, he might be not necessarily looking for some help, right? Because he's not been convicted of anything. But if it came down to it, he might, well, Donald Trump is in trouble as well. So Donald Trump right now is worried about just one person. That's Donald Trump. He ain't worried about any of these other people. See, so but I mean, I'm just saying, you gotta, when you put things and put it in proper perspective, look at it, as what it is and how it is. You can, come up and surmise certain things as being in a certain kind of way, you know. So yeah, so yeah. So we were almost at the 2 hour mark. We got let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, we got about 2 more minutes before we sign off for the day. But so you have anything else you want to say? Anything you want to talk about or
Yeah.
say? Go ahead.
I just heard Dolly Parton died.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, I love Dolly Parton. She was
I do
80.
too.
I don't know what she died of. But far as I can tell about Dolly Parton, she was what they call a real one. She was
Right.
bold. She could sing her ass off.
Yeah.
Um, she took care of people.
Yeah, she did.
And, yeah, rest in peace, Dolly Parton.
Yeah, rest in peace, Danny Carver, for sure. Yeah, she definitely will be missed sorely. And she
Mhm.
did do a lot of good things for a lot of people. And
Sure did.
she will never be forgotten. That is for sure. The little lady, I guess from Tennessee, I think that's where she's from. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, they
uh,
said she died in Nashville.
yeah. And so, she's definitely going to be missed. And so,
Mhm.
and that song that she wrote that Whitney Houston I made iconic,
I will
Uh,
always love you.
yeah, I will always love you. Yeah, so so she definitely will be missed. But yeah,
Yes.
so we gotta we got some. Listen, I'm gonna be watching this here podcast. See about this here not being able to hear these folks. It never happened before. So I always been able to hear the YouTube video when played back, and so I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna listen to it to make sure that in fact, yeah, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that never happened before.
You are
Yeah.
saying I'm wrong. You're saying I'm wrong or I'm lying. One of the
No,
two.
no, no,
But
no.
next time you watch it,
I would never say that you're lying. I would say that maybe you might be making a mistake, but I would never say that you're lying. Maybe there's something going on with some equipment on your end or something to that effect.
on
But I
three
would never
different
say.
devices,
Okay, well, we're
not
gonna find out
racism.
shortly. We're gonna find out shortly. With that being said, if you ain't got nothing else to say, we're gonna be wrapping it up, and we're gonna have the countdown, and we're gonna close the show. Will be closed after that. And so
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, so yeah. Until next one, have a good one. Hey, listen, we can do this again.